What's going on, everybody? Nitro Freak here, back with another stream on the Fly Like an Eagle podcast. My first guest ever on the Eagles Therapy Hour is Mr. Joey Shakes, YouTube content creator, great worker. He does 3-hour streams almost every single night. I can't believe it. He has the energy. I just don't have the energy to do that. I just got back from the gym. Literally, I feel like I'm about to pass out, but we have a lot of stuff to talk about. As you guys saw in my thumbnail, we have Howard Roseman dressed up as a clown because he's a clown. And we're going to get right to it. Mr. Joey Shakes. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, good, man. Obviously, I'm getting ready for another week of football, but not really feeling too good about it. So,
no, not at all. They play the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow actually shredded the Cleveland Browns last week, and he put up, I think, at least 30 points, if I'm not mistaken. It was 35-30. In the first week, they lost to Tyrod Taylor at home because of a missed field goal. So I'm kind of looking at this game. I'm thinking, we should beat this team because they lost to Tyrod Taylor at home. But then again, they beat the Browns, who my friend says we're going to lose to later on in the year. So I'm kind of like iffy about this. But if we go 0-3, I want that number one pick badly. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm throwing in the towel.
I really don't know how far this team is going to go any longer, because I think these past two games have really opened my eyes a little bit more on not just Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson, really about just how we've been doing things ever since the Super Bowl. And it comes to drafting, it comes to, favoritism on veteran players over young guys, not throwing them in the fire. And we just keep guys, we award guys that have done things from a few years ago. And Doug obviously is not, with the play calling being very predictable, not having an OC. I think honestly we probably got the gift of him putting himself under the spotlight, calling the plays, because in the end I think that's where he's going to hang himself. But
yeah, literally, No, understandable, but everyone's like, "Oh, I just want one Super Bowl before we die." Now, I did say that because I was on YouTube since 2011. I started with the whole Dream Team bullshit, and you went into 2012, you thought you were going to be better, and no, you weren't better at all, and you just wanted one before you died. Well, we got the one before we died, but it's not enough to us as Eagles fans, because we're just saying that we want this team to be a dynasty, and we want Carson Wentz to play like Carson Wentz of 2017. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the wheels anymore, and I don't like to credit myself for things like this, but I saw it in the Saints game in 2018. The guy he doesn't have the charisma anymore. He doesn't have the balls. He can't run. He's not mobile. He's very inaccurate. We have the weapons to give him. We have Jalen Reagor, Deshaun Jackson. He threw behind Deshaun Jackson yesterday, which probably would have been a home run, like Baldy was saying. And I just don't get it. Like, people obviously love Carson Wentz. They'll go to bat for him because he's a franchise guy. He was the MVP in 2017 before he got hurt. And I understand it. But, when there's credit, you give credit. And when there's negativity that you need to spread, you have to say it, because he is the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's the captain. And you need to start putting pressure on him. Now, would I put in Jalen Hurts? Fuck no. Because Jalen Hurts, like, if you watch college football, Jalen Hurts isn't an NFL quarterback. You want Carson Wentz to succeed. And let me tell you something. If you put Jalen Hurts in as a starting quarterback, forget about Carson Wentz. He's gone. Because you cannot take out your franchise quarterback, put in a guy you chose in the second round, a 21-year-old, over a guy you just paid all this money to, and expect all that confidence to be there if Jalen Hurts doesn't perform. You can't do it. So it's definitely something you have to look at. And these fans need to get with the program. They need to understand this is the guy, Carson Wentz. You just need to put up with this bullshit right now. You have to, and hope it turns around.
Yeah, I was afraid to make the video last week about Carson Wentz, and I was afraid to make it because I really don't talk about the quarterbacks too much. Like, I talk about, them, but to go in depth of the truth about Carson Wentz, and, maybe 2 years ago, maybe I kind of didn't want to find out that he was going to be this way, or people were going about last year, last year for that month we had to win the NFC East. He did really well, but I mean, it was against a really bad division last year, and good for him. But a new year's a new year, and 15 times he's been clean in the pocket and hasn't delivered for us. Like you said, like not even just the Baldy breakdown of that screen pass. Like, there's no second option for a screen pass on another play where Deshaun was open on the other side of the field. Like he just throws the ball down. His feet don't get set. The J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, like, you go all the way downfield, you're running the ball down their throat, and you just all of a sudden he looks so aggressive or he's trying too hard to make some big play happen every second. His awareness is horrible. He's been leading all quarterbacks in fumbles since 2016, and it's the plays are very predictable. We're doing screen passes with Zach Ertz. I mean, it makes I'm tired of the 2 tight end sets. I'm ready to get rid of some players. I'm ready to get some type of, I don't know, anything for some of these guys. We have Alshon Jeffrey sitting on the roster that he's just sucking up all the cap space, and that's it. And I don't know what he's going to bring to the table. We're 0-2 right now, and I don't know how long I have. I'm already on board right now of getting rid of Doug and Howie Roseman. I'm already on board with it right now. Unless Doug wants to stay and he has his own OC that wants to call plays, and that's different because I don't know what these with Rich Sangrell and all these other guys, what they're giving him. Like, do they have that much say in this offense, or they give Doug the final, or Doug has the final say in everything? I have no idea. But and then when you go to Howie Roseman, like we don't build. He's quote unquote. He said we don't build teams. We build teams into January or whatever he said, and it's a joke because these drafts have been a joke. Andre Dillard was a total mess. Offensive line we haven't really had offensive line issues in a while, but we're doing everything half-assed backwards, and something's got to get done. And I agree with Howie getting out the door this year. I really do. So Jeffrey Lurie better take control of his team, okay? Before we already know what happens when he gave the keys to the farm last time to Chip Kelly, and we know how how that happened. So. That's my take on it.
And I actually saw a comment in the comment section that kind of got to me. He said, Rager is J-Jaw 2.0 non-existent. Abel Torres said that. Now, Jalen Rager is my guy, so I got a little bit hurt by that. J-Jaw absolutely sucks. He shouldn't have even been on the field during that play, and I don't understand how Carson Wentz was even targeting J-Jaw through double coverage. Like, there was a perfect drive going on. Carson Wentz was actually playing really good in that game before that turnover. Like, I was giving him so much credit. I was like, he's seeing all of his reads. He's checking it down when he has to. He had time to throw the ball, and he just forces it in there to a guy that shouldn't have even been on the field. Nobody likes J-Jaw. Why is he on the field? I'd rather have Hightower in there. Like, I mean, the thing is like Jalen Rager, yeah, he should have caught that ball when the safety came over the top and smashed him right in the chest. I understand that, but like Jalen Rager for the most part has actually looked pretty decent, And a lot of people are saying he's like J-Jaw 2.0. That's dumb, Now, if you look at that Rams game, it looks like we got killed on paper. Like, the turnovers killed us. Higbee killed us. 3 touchdowns. We don't have a linebacking core. I said this over and over and over again. They don't pay attention to the linebacking position because they think they can get all the pressure in the world and get to the quarterback, which they can't because Cox has been non-existent. He's a complete bum. Cox, that contract's just absolutely killing us. And I just don't know what we're going to do because everyone wants to blame Jim Schwartz. In my opinion, he's not the problem because he has nothing to work with. The guy from the Rams that we got, what's his name? Nickel Coleman or whatever.
Nickel Roby Coleman, yeah.
He stinks. He is garbage. And we brought him over thinking that he was going to replace a key member in the secondary like Sidney Jones. I'd rather have Sidney Jones right now. I really would. It's just absolutely garbage. Howie Roseman's the worst GM I've ever seen. I did not want this guy getting credit for the Super Bowl. In my opinion, he is not the guy that had the architect of that Super Bowl. In my opinion, it's Joe Douglas. But you know what? People could have their opinions. I just think this guy's been a bum. He's always been a bum. He lost his job to a college coach, and I'm just sick of him. I want him gone, and if it takes us losing 15 games this year, I could give it damn. This is the year to do it because it's COVID. 2020 sucks, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, no, I think with even you talk about the Super Bowl and everything, I think every free agent that Howie brought in produced. I think that's a huge difference. Every free agent that he brought in did something, and unfortunately, we didn't. Frank Reich was behind pretty much the whole style of this offense. Not even just him, but John DeFilippo. I'd probably give him credit as well because with both of them working with Carson Wentz, I don't know what happened. This defense got tricked on bootleg like crazy on that Higbee touchdown that Nathan Gary just can't cover.
Horrible.
All three players in the secondary went after Robert Woods on that play. Nathan Gary by himself. I don't know where Sean Bradley is. Davion Taylor's not even. I don't even think he's even playing. TJ Edwards can't cover. It's a mess. It's a real mess. I mean, I think you look at safety as well. I think J.L. Mills is. I think he's okay. I mean, he's came up and made some tackles. I think the tackling's been better with him, and he's going back to his roots because he used to play safety at LSU. But it's just not looking good. Like the defense, like Javon Hargrave, I know it's his first game back, didn't do much of anything. They were doubling Javon Hargrave, and Fletcher Cox still couldn't get through there. Derek Barnett came back, disappeared, didn't even know he was playing.
Nope, I didn't either.
Brandon Graham had the sack, and that was it. I mean, there's no. I saw Matt Burke, defensive line coach, yelling at the crap out of them on the sideline. But I mean, I don't know. This defense is just not. We're used to signing, especially defensively, these old veteran players that just have a little bit of juice left. And you know how we signed Nickel Roby-Coleman because we wanted him back in 2017 when he was a free agent, but we couldn't afford him. Blah blah blah. But you know the way they sign guys or how they draft everybody, it's just once you put Jason Peters to left, once you sign Jason Peters and put him to left tackle, you pretty much hit the restart button again because then next year you got to find another left tackle because there's no reps. Obviously, I think we maybe found some gems in Jack Driscoll, maybe.
He looked good, actually.
Maybe Nate Herbig. Maybe I don't know. I need to see more games. Obviously, it's only 2 games we've already played, but I think Jack Driscoll only screwed up. There was a lot of missed assignments, especially that first game against the Washington football team. There was 8 sacks, and half of them were blown blocks. Like I saw Jack Driscoll helping the tight end to block the defensive end, and the tackle can't. You know what I mean? So it's it's a lot of just simple things that they're doing. But what's really pissing me off is mostly, the defense is one thing, but this offense, and you talked about Jalen Reagor. I think there's so much more that Jalen Reagor could do. I think they could do so much more with him, but we look so vanilla. We look so bold. We really don't have a number one receiver because they're not treating any of these receivers as they're being cautious with Deshaun Jackson. I mean, they're giving him sideline catches like it's very inaccurate. So.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the comment section, a lot of people in general say that the offensive line is a problem, and it's easy to target the offensive line because obviously we're injured. But at the same time, there have been plays in the game where Carson Wentz had a ton of time to throw, and he just could not make his throws. I don't know if he's scared. I don't know if the knee injury still comes back to his mind. I just don't know what it is. He doesn't play with the same urgency he used to. Like I used to love this guy. Like in 2016, I was sitting next to my friend Zomp, who's on the show on Sundays, and I called this guy a stud. He threw that dime to Darren Sproles down the sideline against the Steelers, and ever since then, I don't see plays like that. Like he doesn't create something out of nothing anymore. He just looks for something, and maybe it just never develops, and he just doesn't take over a team anymore. Like that's something that's been missing since before 2018.
Yep.
It's a big problem, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, those plays are gone. Like I haven't seen anything that was. I mean, I kind of already know what they're doing, how they're lined up. Like even with the first game, they were lining everybody up. Like you have all this speed, and then they, if it's 3rd and short, something like that, they put everybody in the box. Like why aren't you spreading everybody out? Spread this offense out a little bit. Maybe you could do a run play or something. And I remember they did that QB sneak from like I think 3 yards out, or I don't know, they were just desperate to get that first down or whatnot. But Carson definitely looks something's wrong. It's something mentally. It's something happening that we don't know. Is something with his personal life? Is there something going on? I heard he had this groin injury before the season started, or whatever happened. I don't know what's going on with that, but
I mean, the weird thing about Carson Wentz is I know he has a bad side to him because this guy kills geese, he kills deers, and then afterwards he has the weirdest fucking smile standing next to the animals. It's so sadistic. And then he goes back and talks about Jesus. Like, this guy, like, he definitely has a dark side to him. He's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he literally is. I would never shoot an animal. All right? And he does it at will. Like, this guy doesn't have a dark side down to him. Like, give me a fucking break. And this guy just brought up a comment. So would you rather die slowly or fast? Why? We could get Trevor, man. We don't need to put up with Carson. Just trade his ass at the end of the season and get the number 1 pick. Well, there's a problem with that because we will be in cap hell because we gave him a ridiculous contract that he made top 10 on Forbes as an athlete this year. It's easier said than done. Would I love to get Trevor Lawrence? Oh, absolutely. But the problem is if we do get that number 1 pick, which it looks like we actually probably can because we're that bad. If we do get that number 1 pick, I would actually hold a team King's ransom and get 3 first rounds for that pick because we're going to probably stick with Wentz. Actually, we are going to stick with Wentz because we gave him that stupid contract. So that just answers your question right there. And we just got a super chat, by the way, by the Philly Talk Podcast. Another content creator that I absolutely love, Philly Mike. Great work over there. $2.99. Week 3 really going to make or break this franchise. You're telling me, dude. on paper, this should be an easy win. On paper. Because it's a very young team. Joe Burrow's a stud. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But this team, other than AJ Green, a washed-up AJ Green, who do they have? Joe Mixon? Giovanni Bernard? Who do they really have? They could come into the link and expose us. If we lose to this team, I'm in full tank mode. I'm waving the white flag, and I'm breaking out my Howie Must Go shirt. So they better not lose this Sunday, because after that, I'll give up. I'll be done. Because the Bengals should not come into Philly and beat us, fans or no fans. I don't care. That should never happen.
Yeah, no, I'm not happy about this. I mean, this third game, I don't know how much longer I can take, because these are the games we should be winning right now, and it's not going to get easy. You got the Ravens, got the Steelers, Seahawks, 49ers. I mean, it's just crazy. We're going to look very embarrassing. I don't know if this team can get on a roll right now. I really don't. I'm not sure. I'm really not.
No, we look horrible. We look absolutely terrible.
How many games are you giving it? You're giving it pretty much this Bengals game. I know you're done probably now, but I'm saying what's the last straw of you're done, you're tanking for the season. This Bengals game is pretty much
the Bengals game. Yeah. Because my rule going into the season is always it takes me 3 weeks to see what the team's made of. It always 3 weeks, no matter what. Now I can consider myself done now because we looked so bad. But yeah, if they lose to the Bengals, the trash ass Bengals that had the number 1 pick last year and really didn't upgrade at any position other than that, we'd be probably a 3-win team. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If you can't beat the Bengals with the tough schedule we have, we faced the Cowboys twice. We face Pittsburgh, the Ravens, the Saints, the Seahawks. Forget it.
I think the Browns could beat us. I think the Giants could probably beat us. You never know. I mean, at this point, we look that bad right now. We don't look like a football. I watch other games, and I think there's a lot more with Carson Wentz's mechanics too, because he takes so long to throw the ball. He second guesses himself. He hesitates. The forward stride in his arm when he's throwing the ball looks predictable. That's why I think even with that first game with those 2 easy picks at pretty much the same spot, I know the receiver, I guess the break of the route, and it was too late or whatever, but it's just not looking good. I mean, and then you mentioned the cap space with these contracts. I mean, we made Javon Hargrave the 6th highest paid defensive tackle, which I didn't expect we were going to even get a lineman this year with already paying so many guys. And I mean, he didn't even make this much of an impact. Nope. Made nothing, and it's just crazy. So, I mean, I think it's over, $60 million?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not good.
No. We're in cap hell, and this guy's a cap wizard. Yeah, go figure. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? I just don't understand it. He thought that we would actually be satisfied with 1 Super Bowl title. Now, granted, we did say, like I said before, we said we wanted 1 before we died. But yeah, that's bullshit. We're never satisfied. We're Philadelphia fans. We're never satisfied. It's all bullshit because we're in misery. Look at other teams. The Phillies suck. I'm not a Phillies fan, but the Phillies suck. The Sixers suck, and the Flyers just got the Game 7 and lost 4-0. So, I mean, look at other teams. There's nothing to be happy about. You have COVID killing old people. There's just nothing happy. There's nothing satisfying about the city of Philadelphia right now. Nothing. And it's funny because I was actually going to go to Xfinity Live for the Week 2 game, and they closed off a 2-mile radius outside the stadium because they were afraid that people were going to tailgate.
Right.
Yeah. It's not fun.
And, you got your 2nd-round pick and your 3rd-round pick not playing. It's just bad. It's just really, really bad. I mean, you move up to get Andre Dillard. You pretty much block him, put Jason Peters in front of him. And then it's now he was in 3 games, 1 at right tackle, blew his confidence out the door. And then I don't know if his body just can't hold up in the NFL or what, because every time he took a rep, he got hurt. He took that 1 rep against Josh Sweat, and that was it. So, yeah, I don't know what the case is, but they better pack up on linemen with Nate Herbig and Jack Driscoll, whatever they're doing. But at the end of the day, they need to – it's on Carson Wentz, and then it's on these coaches. It's up to Doug. I mean, it's on Doug at the end of the day. So, I don't know what's going to happen, but – this Bengals game coming up, I mean, they're really not that good. I know they have they drafted that Clemson receiver. I forgot his damn name.
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins, yeah.
He's good. I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty good.
Yeah, they have their defense is really it's not good. It's really not good. So I don't know I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I haven't really heard any Eagles fans saying this is an easy game, but
it should be.
It should be. But I just don't. I'm not going to say it is.
Eagles fans have to realize, I don't know if some Eagles fans are new to the game or what it is, but Eagles fans have to realize we have so much experience at coaching. We have so much experience at the quarterback position. We have so much experience with the defensive line. If we don't win this game, that is a problem. That is a huge problem, letting the Cincinnati Bengals, who are a pretty much new team, like not a new franchise, but they're a brand new team with a brand new quarterback. If they come into Philadelphia and beat us, I would start firing people next week. Like that's how serious this loss would be. And the line's only 5.5, which kind of scares the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I know this team's bad. Don't get me wrong. We're not a playoff team by any stretch. But if you lose to a team like this is going to be tank mode. Like, people don't understand that. Like, the Cincinnati Bengals are the one team you should beat. Them and the Giants, you should beat them. You got to beat them. Or else you got to start looking elsewhere other than – I just don't – that Carson Wentz contract is so ridiculous, man. It's just – whenever someone says Howie Roseman's a great GM, I just want to, like, spit, like, on my fucking computer screen. Like, I'm sorry.
I understand that. I definitely understand that. You look at these past drafts, and they just – I mean, none of these guys. I mean, even with Hurts, he was in like 2 plays, and he's just there for like how many times you gonna get away with that? I mean, with him on the field, that like, and it's like how many times you can get away with it? And he's like, doing this like he's open, you know what I mean, to go get a pass or whatnot. But I don't know. It's just a mess. It's way past these games. It goes so far back, and it's just what this team has been doing the past few years.
Yeah. And listen, I see this comment on Periscope right now on Twitter. Eagles fans, if we beat the worst team in the league, we're going to see C. Carson's back. I wouldn't mind if I saw that. I wouldn't mind. I would let them have their day. Honestly, I'd be like, I want Carson Wentz to throw 6 touchdowns next week. Honestly, I just want to win the game. But if he gets it done, I don't care if I see the Carson Wentz fans come back. I want to win the game. That's all I care about. I don't care if we win it by 1 point, 2 points. I don't give a fuck. Just win the game. Just don't tie the game. That would piss me off probably even more than the loss.
Yeah, as long as if they could show some type of fight, and show some, going downfield with the run game or whatever they're doing. I thought obviously the best part of the last game was probably the running backs. I think Miles Sanders tried his best. I mean, he did whatever he possibly could. But yeah. I mean, besides the fumble, obviously that was like easy right there. But
momentum killer.
Pretty much. I mean, that's where we've been weak, and not being able to throw the ball upfield, not using these receivers to their strengths, whatever route combinations they're doing. I mean, Baldy. I watch all Baldy shit because I want to know what's going on. And I saw 4 receivers just doing a go route, like they were gonna do they're gonna break a route at the top, but like all receivers were running the same time, like going up like 25 yards the same way. And I don't know what they're doing. We had this issue last year when Carson Walsh was the wide receiver coach. And I mean, obviously, right. I mean, we played better. I mean, it's sad to say we played better as Mike Rowe as the OC. That's how bad it is right now.
It's funny. I see this comment in the comment section by Cesar Sanchez. Dude on the left has losing mentality. That's me. I used to be just like you, Cesar. I used to have that hope for nothing. Like, I would go to the Week 16 game against the Washington Redskins after Christmas when Chip Kelly was on the verge of being fired with Sam Bradford. It was like a winning in. It wasn't a winning in. I think we had to win 2 straight to get into the division. I guess the Redskins would have won. And I was going to that game, and we talked to Spadero, me and my buddy Zomp. We talked to Spadero because Spadero was good friends with Zomp. And he said, listen, dude, I know I play a character online, but we have no shot in this game. Like, he literally said that we were going to get our ass kicked. And he never says that. After that, I was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't think that we're going to win every single year because it's just not worth it. You have to look up and down the roster and say to yourself, there's sometimes you have to be realistic with yourself because you don't want to make yourself go nuts. I understand it's a long off season if we don't make the playoffs. It's a long 9 months. I understand that. And you're losing a year of your life. All right. I understand that. But at the same time, we do have that Super Bowl. So we have a little bit more of a bonus to adjust with. We're not ringless anymore. So, you have to be more realistic with this team so you can make your window better for the future. And that's just how I see it. I'm turning 28. I want more titles. And this team this year just does not have it, Caesar. Yeah. They don't have it. And you're going to see it soon. Maybe you'll see it sooner than later, but I already see it. Like, I just see it. I've watched this team for 20 years. They don't have it. And Joey Shakes is a little bit more positive than me. I just tell it how I see it. They don't have it. They don't.
Yeah, like I look at the Raiders right now after that big win the other night. I mean, congrats to them because that's a team that's turned around. I mean, obviously it's one game defeating a really good team, but look what they did though. They got rid of some veteran guys. They got some picks, and they kind of. I wouldn't say I would say it was a rebuild. I guess rebuild mode, reset mode. I mean, it took like a couple years, but it took a couple off seasons. But they got a bunch of picks, and they did it the right way, and they got a bunch of stars on that team. They got a lot of high-profile players on that team that are playing really well now. So, you got to take it from that. But, I mean, first things first, we got to see if this team is ready to win, which I have optimism, but it's very low. It's not good. And I'm usually the hopeful fan. And
yeah.
I kind of had it after last game. Actually, even after the first game, I kind of saw what was coming, and of course, the offensive line rumors. It was the offensive line. Okay, so I said next week. I said if Carson has time and he blows the game, which he definitely did, but the defense didn't play well either. So, they got to get with the program with the drafts, and we haven't seen a good trade from Howie Roseman. He wouldn't even take a chance on D-Hop or. I mean, just the trades aren't there. Like every time like a free agent comes out, there's always a picture of Howie Roseman and go get him, and it's over, it's done with. He can't do these anymore. Like no. He lost it. It's over. Like he's done. He
doesn't like to give up draft picks because he thinks he knows what he's doing. That is the definition of delusional. Like I mean, it's the guy is he's a fraud. I'm at the point to where I lose every fucking game just to get him out. Like, I don't want him here anymore. He doesn't make the moves that you want him to make. He doesn't make the obvious moves that you want him to make. He's very cheap. He's very stingy. He's the guy that you don't want running your team. Like, we could have got D. Hopkins. What did the Cardinals give up? They gave up like a second rounder and maybe a fifth.
Yeah, late pick.
Yeah. We couldn't give that up. Like, are you serious? Like, this guy thinks he's a genius. He thinks he's the smartest man in the room every single year, and he's not. And there's actually a good question here. Kyle, what was your expectations of Wentz when you knew the Eagles were going to draft him? At first, I didn't like the pick. I'm going to be honest with you because you're getting him from a school I've never heard of. Mm-hmm. And I thought that, we had Sam Bradford coming back. And I thought that we could have given Sam Bradford another shot because, honestly, I liked his accuracy. And yes, he was made of glass. I understand that. But I feel like with talent, he could have been a little bit better. Then they traded away Sam Bradford for that first pick which ended up for Derek Barnett. And, you put Carson Wentz on the field versus the Cleveland Browns and he throws that first touchdown to Jordan Matthews, which I filmed in my seats. And I was like, damn, this guy's the real deal. He's a fucking stud. And all of a sudden, he gets hurt against the Rams, and then he comes back against the Colts, and he does that one Houdini act, and then you never see it again. That's when I kind of fell off the cliff when it came to Carson Wentz. But I got to admit, when we drafted him the first time, I was a little skeptical. I'm not going to lie. So I'm honest. I am. Yeah. I'm very honest.
No, you're one of the realest Eagles fans I know, definitely. You're not just telling people what they want to hear. You just say it how you want to say it, and that's it. And I'm kind of turning to be like that as well because, I think 2 years ago I made excuses for Carson Wentz and I was like hoping and waiting. And then, it's only a matter of time where it's just like, I got to make this video and tell the truth about like what I think about this guy because I can't hold it in anymore. Like he hasn't been the same since his injury, period, that lingered for a year and a half.
Yeah.
He hasn't, I think the Super Bowl definitely fucked him up mentally. I think that just really the pressure is even more now because there's a statue of another quarterback sitting right in front of the stadium. It's Chris Long making the shrine of Nick Foles and I really don't even talk about Nick Foles. I really don't even say his name.
Me either.
It's just so irrelevant now. I just don't care.
My friend actually made this comparison. He said what Wentz did with the Eagles is basically like putting up a house, building it brick by brick, and someone else coming in and just painting it and finishing the job. That's what he had the comparison with. And I keep telling him every single day, listen, I don't really talk about Nick anymore because it's been 3 years, and he's on Chicago as a backup, and, good luck to him. But, it's tough to win in the playoffs. We don't know what Carson Wentz would have done in the playoffs. It's a different ballgame. From the looks of it, the guy has the most sensitive, fragile mind you could ever see because if he's worried about a statue, it's like, what else is going on in his mind? Like, you don't want someone leading your team who has a weak mind. You don't want that. because they're not going to win you games in big moments. And if you can't beat the Bengals, like, who can you beat? You know what I'm saying? It's not like he doesn't have Greg Ward as his number one. Like, the guy has Jalen Reagor. He has Deshaun Jackson. He has Zach Ertz. He has Dallas Goedert. And I've been saying it for, like, the last 2 years. I feel like Zach Ertz, you should get rid of him because he's always his first read, and the guy goes nowhere. He doesn't make that big play. He falls down. And, Zach Ertz is good. I get it. But in my opinion, you have other players out there that you could get a lot of value for, and I would totally trade him away. I would.
Yeah, there's no way you're keeping 2 tight ends next year. I mean, yeah, you're going to have 2 tight ends, but you're not going to be paying 2 tight ends. That's a different story. I think Dallas Goedert could start for another team right now. I mean, I think he's got a lot of talent. Like, I know he's not the same. No, he's not the same as Ertz. So like, could you put Dallas Goedert on that Super Bowl play and say that he would make that touchdown? I don't know if you can do that, but you have Zach Ertz with that, not fast but has that route running. Is it could make could make it look like it's some type of other route and getting a nice catch, but it's just over now. It's like Howie already tried giving him 2 contracts late last year, and then pretty much a few weeks ago, and they're trying to keep both of them. It's not going to happen. And Ertz, it's not worth it. Like, we love you, and we appreciate everything you've done for us, but we got to move on. Like, guys just can't retire. Like, look at the you look at the Raiders getting rid of Khalil Mack and getting rid of the guys that get picks and then kind of starting fresh, you know what I mean, and seeing what goes on. But they may want to try a different route. If they lose this game Sunday, I don't know how much more I'm gonna be able to. I'm really not even defending this team right now. I think they're gonna lose. I mean, I think they're gonna lose Sunday. That's just me, but I'm not seeing any hope right now. And Carson does the talk at his press conference. Carson, says whatever he says in the tunnel before the game, but it's not.
He says the same thing after every single press conference. Same thing over and over and over again. I gotta be better. I gotta stop with the fumbles. Just do it. Don't tell us. We know. We watch the games. We're not stupid. You're getting paid $100 million. Like, people want me to feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you.
I know. It's like, you want me to feel bad for you? Like, you get paid that much money, and honestly, we could have been paying him more money. So it's just like, regardless, it's still. I didn't watch any I think after a few days of this past game, I watched, but I didn't watch Doug's press conferences are just so the same shit over and over again. The same as Carson's, and I think Doug is disgusted with it. I don't know why Carson's doing that. You're coaching him all week. Like, what is Press Taylor doing with him? Like, what is going on with him? Like, is he okay? Like, yep. There's nothing going good for him at all. Like, nothing. There's not one thing that's positive about Carson Wentz right now. Like, going to his 5th year, this should not be happening. This is. I can't believe we're talking about getting a new QB. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
This is fucking nuts. Yeah.
And that was a big thing coming into the year. Like, shout out to Philly 500. He was the one that first said this to me. He was like, Carson Wentz looks kind of fat. And I'm like, coming into the building, he bulked up a lot for a quarterback that's supposed to use his wheels. And, maybe that's a problem. Like, he obviously can't run anymore. Like, why did he put on all that weight? Like, is it because he wanted to avoid injury that much? The guy played 16 games last year. He played every game. Why is he putting on so much weight? Like, why? I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because we heard that's why I heard a lot of people on Twitter were saying he looks fat. I'm like, what do you guys think he looks fat? I kind of looked. I'm like, I guess I don't know, but him staying in the pocket, I don't know if this is like an RG3 type thing where they're handicapping him. They're not giving him full. Are they giving him full command of the offense? Has he been doing audibles during these games?
He's been changing the plays in the huddle for the first 2 games, and maybe that's a problem. Maybe they shouldn't let him do that.
I don't know. I don't even know. When you start doing bootlegs in this game, I was like, wow, he's actually doing bootlegs. Like, there's no RPOs. I don't know where those are. It's shotgun. There's just no creativity with this offense, and Doug thinks it's going to work, and it doesn't. He's using these receivers the wrong way. I see Deshaun's getting pissed. It's going to boil over. After the more losses that are going to happen, it's going to boil over. You lose against the Bengals, it's a really tough road ahead. They literally can go probably 0-8, 0-9. Like, it's no joke. Before their bye, they could probably go 0-9. Yeah. No joke.
Easily. Weight gain combined with previous ACL tear making him immobile. Yeah. I completely agree with that. I mean, the ACL injury was almost 3 years ago in December. So, you put that into a factor. Did he really get over the ACL tear yet? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in his mind. I mean, like I said before, he likes to shoot animals, so he's kind of crazy already. So when you mix that with an injury, I mean, yeah, you can go a little insane. I understand that. I don't know. I don't know. And then people like to blame well, he's not blaming him, but Jim Shorts. A lot of people like to blame him and say that he's pretty much ruining this team because of the defense. But I think he's the least of the blame.
What does he have on defense?
He has nobody. Literally nobody. We built this team to where the pressure needs to get to the quarterback to succeed, and the pressure is not getting there. So the secondary ends up feeling it, and the linebacking core that you're probably a better linebacker and could start for the team is feeling it. They can't even cover anybody.
He's not building the roster. Like, he's not paying these guys. Like, Jim Shorts isn't paying these defensive guys, or he's not in charge of that roster. Whatever they give him is what he has to work with. But losing Malcolm, unfortunately, it was a big hit to this defense. I could tell right off the bat, you don't have that guy. Obviously, Will Parks was that guy to move around because he could play almost any position. How can he play it well 100%? I have no idea. And he's on short-term IR. He's maybe be back by week 6, 7, 8, whatever.
9,
but after seeing yesterday, just what's really pisses me off the most is players that didn't work out here are very successful somewhere else, like LJ Fort, Stefan Wisniewski. Look at Nelson Aguilar last night. Look at Malcolm Jenkins last night. You know, like they thought, maybe they didn't have it anymore. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that we paid Nelson 9.3 in 1 year for that option, and he's getting paid like $850,000 for 1 year over there.
Well, the reason why I stuck with Nelson Aguilar until they traded him is because his footwork is some of the best I've ever seen. Like, it really is. The way he just spins around, like, you don't get that out of a wide receiver. But the problem is he couldn't catch the ball, and that was the downfall. If he could catch the ball, he'd be one of the best receivers in the league. And that's why we paid him that money, because in the Super Bowl year, he actually looked pretty decent. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. So, I mean, I can't fault him for paying him that much money, honestly. I'm not going to put that on Howie Roseman. He did help us win a Super Bowl, and that is what it is. And they said, what's the deal with Robbie Cole? He is trash. I mean, you picked him up from the Rams. I mean, you view all of the players in the NFL, and you pick the one guy that creates the biggest pass interference penalty that wasn't called on the face of the earth and say, that's our guy. Like, I just don't understand that. Like, what were you thinking there? Like, I don't know. Like, the Rams weren't, like, world beaters by any stretch of the imagination last year. Why'd you get him? I don't understand that.
Yeah, because all I was hearing was about Aaron Donald all week. Aaron Donald. And you saw that video when he's throwing the Cowboys players around.
Yeah, because they're all Browns.
And then all of a sudden, we shut him down, and we still can't get anything to happen. That if it wasn't for that punt return fumble, we wouldn't have got close to. We were there, and then we went upfield, and Carson choked with protection and choked. So. It's just a mess.
Aguilar and Jenkins sucked last night. Well, Jenkins had the one sack, but he couldn't really tackle. Aguilar, I wouldn't say sucked, but he had one catch for 19 yards, and he looked pretty damn good on that catch. He looked better than anything he did last year. So I'll give him credit for that. Cowboys fan in here. Fucking Cowboys fan. It's only 2 games, guys. Relax and support your QB, damn it. Well, I can't really talk shit to a Cowboys fan because they came back and beat Atlanta. So that was pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wouldn't shock me in a year of complete shit in 2020 where everything went to complete shit, you guys would win the Super Bowl. Like, that wouldn't shock me at all because this year's been horrible. Is it true that Wentz isn't doing the plays that Doug is telling him? He's apparently doing his own thing. It's possible. Maybe he doesn't trust Doug. And, Doug is the offensive coordinator as well, which is kind of stupid. But whatever. At this point, I'm like, you know what? If Doug's going to be the coach for a long term, let him do his thing and let him expose himself. And instead of someone else saying it was Mike Rowe's fault or like Frank Reich was the architect, if Doug wants to expose himself by calling shitty plays, let him do it. It's that simple.
Yeah, he pretty much he's hanging himself right now. He's pretty much putting himself under the spotlight. So if he the more games we lose and the more bad, I think it's going to take maybe us getting killed by 40, 45 points. I think that's what it's going to take. Or maybe it's not even just that, but I mean, if I'm seeing like jet sweep or post, just comebacks, like just these little passes that Carson goes back like 10 yards and then like he throws a pass for 2 yards. I can't stand that. I just can't stand it. We put Jason Huntley in the first game. I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, a lot of people are bringing up Hurts though, and I want to bring up something I said earlier. A lot of people say, well, he's saying Hurts can possibly do worse. I mean, can he do worse? In my opinion, no. But the thing is if you put in Hurts for Carson Wentz, you're saying bye-bye to a player when you paid him all that money. You're going to be in cap hell. So, is it really worth it? Like, why would you draft Hurts in the first place? Is it just for an insurance policy down the road? He's 21, and you could groom him until he's like 26. Like, are you really expecting a team to just give you a first-round pick for a QB that hasn't proven anything, who was projected to go in the fourth or fifth round? Like, this is why Howie Roseman sucks, because you could have went up and got the guy from, what was it, Utah State. You could have got Love. You could have groomed him. All right. Why would you go out of your way to use your second-round pick on a guy that was projected to go later on in the draft? Like, that's what I don't get out of Howie Roseman. He's trying to be the smartest guy in the room, and consistently to the smart fans, he looks like a doofus. Like, I'm just so sick and tired of this guy. This guy, he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm just so tired of him.
I mean, I think Jalen Hurts has accuracy issues too. I think the upgrade of putting Hurts on the field is pretty much he has a pair of legs on him. I think that's like the only thing that's maybe the upgrade. But I mean, after that pick, after hearing Howie the next 2 weeks, I'm understanding why they did it, but I'm understanding why they did it because you're keeping a quarterback behind in the system for 4 to 5, 4 years with a fifth-year option, whatever. But it's just like it's just too early. It's just it puzzles me. They were so excited when he got picked. I couldn't believe it.
I wasn't.
I couldn't believe it.
I didn't get it.
It's not Hurts' fault. I mean, he was happy to get drafted here. Like, what? I mean, you can't blame him. He gets drafted wherever he gets drafted, whatever.
I thought it was a joke at first, and then I was thinking to myself, I was like, why did they actually draft him? Like, are they trying to turn him into a Taysom Hill type of guy? I was like, that would make sense, but we have Greg Ward to do that. So, to me, it was a pick that was like, why? Like, why are you picking him there? Like, it didn't make any sense. Now, JS3509 on Twitter asks, remember when we benched Donnie for Cobb and he came back and took us to the NFC Championship game? Yes, that actually is a good comparison to what's going on. I will admit that. The problem is that Carson Wentz and Donovan McNabb are two different players, in my opinion. Donovan McNabb had a ton of success in the city of Philadelphia, a ton. And Carson Wentz has only had one great year out of his 5 years playing here. So when you're comparing him to Donnie, I just can't do it. I know Donovan McNabb looked terrible in that Bengals game when he said it was a tie, and I know he looked terrible in that Ravens game when he got benched when we lost 37-9. But you just cannot compare them. You can't compare them right now. That's like kind of disrespectful in my opinion. But it is a good comparison. I will say that. Intellectual-wise, it's a good comparison, but I can't compare them. I can't.
No.
Sorry.
9-day difference between those two guys.
Yeah, I can't do it. Okay, you guys are choked. He's talking some in the comments section. McLeod has regressed. Mills stinks. It's funny. I can't really say Mills stinks, because he's taken on a new position that he played in college. And I don't know. To me, he's the furthest thing from the problem. Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of other things to worry about on the team. Like, I feel like Mills hasn't played that bad. I don't know from what I've seen. I mean, maybe you're thinking differently, but
no, I don't think he's really played bad at all. I mean, I think there's more to see. Definitely, I think maybe a new position will help him a lot. But between these linebackers and not bringing in a veteran guy, I mean, I knew this was a damn weakness coming into the season, and they didn't do nothing about it. Nigel Bradham left, and which I was surprised because I didn't think they hold on to these guys like their families. So that's just how it is. And another thing that's pissing me off the most is. They got to stop promoting within the organization. They got to stop that. They need to bring a different species from outside world, bring him in, just get a different mind in here offensively. I mean, you got Deuce Staley, that's a run game coordinator, a running back coach, and he's an assistant head coach. I mean, and I think honestly, Doug doesn't know how to pick any, but Doug doesn't know how to hire coaching talent at all. He's like, oh, I got, I was good friends with Mike Groh, so I'm going to move him up to, OC. I like Press Taylor, so, he's my passing game coordinator and my quarterback coach.
It's like I can almost see the conversation to Mike Groh. He's like, you did a really good job as a wide receiver coach. How would you like to feel to be my offensive coordinator? It's like, oh, sounds good, Doug. Let's do it. It's like completely different levels. You just give it to a guy, and I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird to me. It's really weird to me. They're talking about the Falcons choking. Yeah, I mean that's what they do. The Falcons choke. That's what they do. I'm not talking about the Falcons because I don't care about them. I care about the Philadelphia Eagles. I hate. Oh, that's another one. I hate how every time I see Metcalf and Beast. Yeah, how about that? They didn't want Metcalf because he had the build of like a line. I think he had a build of a linebacker, and they didn't want him because he had trouble off the field. Well, looks like that trouble is translating pretty well. Oh God, and it's just odd. I hate this GM with a passion. I really do. Wentz was beating the football team since he was drafted. Yeah, didn't do this year. It's brutal, but. I don't know, guys. I really don't, especially for this Sunday. I'm up in the air. We should beat this team. This team is not on our level, but at the same time, I just don't. I don't have any faith. Someone say something that makes me want to be positive because I've been out since we lost to the football team. I've been out. I was thinking of another word. Like I want to say it.
I say Redskins all the time because I just can't help to say it. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I just.
But look what happens. What I knew was going to happen to them happened too. Like good defensive line, their offense couldn't do crap against Arizona. I already knew that was going to happen. So
yeah, exactly. And it says business money and true. Wentz is like 6-1 versus Washington. Well, someone said he's 3-4 versus Washington. So one of those is true. I don't have a stat sheet in front of me, and I couldn't tell you. I remember games back to 2003, but I can't remember his record. It's weird to me.
Neither.
Yeah. I am a Falcons fan. He's talking about someone. Eagles are going to lose to Joe Burrow. Hey, listen, you're probably trolling, but honestly, it's not a troll statement. They could. Fletcher Cox is washed up. Looks like it. 100% looks like
positive. It. So positive.
You guys are on a roll. You guys will be fine. A Cowboys fan saying we will be fine. As soon as Wentz has a good game, he'll gain confidence and go on a roll. Be patient. I don't trust a Cowboys fan saying that. I really don't. 15-10 divisional games. All I gotta say, it was freezing as fuck outside for that game, and we took care of business.
I was there.
Yep, I was there too. I was section 111, and when Jalen Mills broke up that pass, technically, it was a great day. The coaching development is so bad with the Eagles, especially Wentz. Do they work on his weaknesses? I know some are mental, but still. Well, if it is mental, you can't really work on that. You either have it or you don't mentally. And if Wentz is weak mentally, there's nothing you can do about that. It's just you have to hope he hits a stride, and you have to hope that he changes it around by himself, or else you're fucked.
Yeah, just as a unit, like with a lot of these teams that have been together for a long time, we relatively don't have a brand new team. So for teams that have been together, and I mean, I don't know how much of this offseason, there was no grass time with everything. We didn't think we were having football season anyway, so I don't know how much that really affected it, but practicing against our own guys, knowing our own guys' weakness, not hitting another jersey, no preseason, no rookie mini camp for development, it's kind of screwed a lot of things up. I don't think that's the reason. A lot of people are putting it on the offseason as well, which I don't believe. I mean, Wentz shouldn't be looking like this. Whole unit shouldn't be looking like this. Obviously, going into more injuries this year.
A lot of people are blaming the preseason, and people have to understand that the other teams around the league didn't have a preseason either.
Right.
Not only that, last year the Eagles they didn't start their starters in the preseason, so it's like when you go back and forth and you're looking at like injuries and stuff like that. Like look at all the ACL injuries going on throughout the league, and these teams are still okay. Like I mean, why can't it seems like to me it seems like we're actually more healthy than some of the other teams around the league, and we're not. That's how weird of a year it is because COVID just fucked everything up.
No,
it's I don't know. Yeah, we're not beating the Ravens. I'm not even talking about the Ravens. We're not beating the Ravens. Not happening. They're still talking about the Falcons. I love it. Really annoying thing is Rager is playing great and could even be better if Wentz is playing better. Yeah, I agree.
I agree 100%. 100%.
Did Hargrave play last week? I didn't hear his name at all. It didn't seem like it. Did not seem like it. Injuries are out of control. Yes, they are. Did you? Oh, this was an ESPN report today. Did you all notice nobody talks to Wentz after a series? That's a red alert. Yeah, I saw today that on the sideline, people wouldn't talk to Wentz until he was done looking at an iPad, and then they would talk to him, which to me is not as weird as you think, but in the same case, it's weird, if that makes any sense. It's just, I don't know, man. Wentz is a weird guy. Like, he's a really weird guy. He's tough to figure out. I don't really care what his mindset is. I don't care if he's the weirdest guy on earth. I just want him to throw the football accurately, and he's been throwing the ball with a lot of force, but they've been really inaccurate into the other team.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't. Every fan base wants Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I do, but we're stuck with our quarterbacks. So what are you going to do? Let me see. How has Darius Slay been for you guys so far? I think he's the MVP of the defense so far.
Yeah, I think he did a good job. Especially only two or three catches for from the Washington football team. McLaurin did a good job. I think the only time McLaurin actually did well was when we played zone. We had those few catches when we did play zone, but I think he had a little bit of trouble with Cooper Kupp. I think everybody had trouble with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, but Cooper Kupp was just crazy. I seen that Slay had some trouble, but I'm not expecting him to do everything every single game. Everyone's got to have their part. I mean, the whole secondary needs to play inside, outside. Like, everyone's got to be switching. So I think Darius Slay was perfect. I think he's great. I have no problem with Darius Slay.
Yeah, me too. Anytime you shut down Terry McLaurin, I labeled him the best wide receiver in the division, like I did. So, I mean, anytime you shut him down, you're getting what you paid for, and that's a good thing. I have no problem with Darius Slay. I really don't. He's a avid follower of the Fly Like an Eagle podcast, so I like that as well. And he might be watching this. Who knows? Because he retweeted two of our things, I think. Yeah. So, I mean, he does watch. Maddox looks lost on the outside. It's a shame because I actually loved Devontae Maddox 2 years ago. Loved him. And he's just, yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. Biggest pet peeve, Wentz standing in the pocket when it clearly breaks down instead of rolling out. Something tells me, Sean, that he can't roll out anymore. And, they're turning him into a pocket passer. He can't use his legs anymore, and he's just not a pocket passer. So we might have damaged goods. We might have him for a decent amount of time the way he is. And I hope not. I hope he turns it around. But in my opinion, it looks like, from what I've seen, he can't roll out anymore or as much as he used to. And that's a big problem because that's what he thrived off of. And
when Andy Dalton was with the Bengals, did he play like that bad every year? Did he have? I never followed his career, so I have no idea. Mm-hmm. But they kept him for that long and didn't go anywhere for that long. Is that because it's just like kind of like a Wentz situation where they're not going to get rid of him and they're going to keep him for as many years? I'd say that it's just going to be another year, or it's going to be the coaches first before the quarterback. Is it the quarterback before the coaches, or the coaches before the quarterback?
I think it's a combination of both. I mean, Ron Jaworski did say the other day on I forget what podcast it was, but he said the other day he feels that there are too many voices in Carson Wentz's ear at once. Like, he goes to the quarterback coach, then he goes to the head coach, and they're all telling him different things. And when Jaws says something like that, you kind of have to hold. You have to hold it because maybe it's true. Maybe there's 5 different voices in his head telling him all different things, and he doesn't know which one to listen to. So, Jaws saying that, him being a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, you got to kind of listen to that. Yep. Wentz is so inaccurate. He's so inconsistent. Love the positivity. Is there a correlation between vanilla offense and Frank Reich leaving? Well, Frank Reich left 3 years ago. So, I mean, you're kind of seeing it. Frank Reich is a great coach. I'm going to say great coach because he has a really old Phillip Rivers who looked like his career was done, and they just beat the Vikings yesterday. So he's a phenomenal coach. I honestly would take Frank Reich over Doug Peterson. I would. But we have Doug, and Doug won us the Super Bowl, so I'm not going to say anything bad about him.
And Frank has taken our players like that. That Noah Tagai tight end actually played pretty well. He had some good blocks. I think a couple catches. They they always have cap space. They have a ton of cap space. They're never over. Not like this team that owes every single year. Looking like us in a lot of ways. Our old us back in 2017. So really shows.
Yeah, exactly. And we actually have the perfect question to get out of here on. Score predictions right now for Sunday. I will start with you, Mr. Shakes, because I'm probably going to give the most negative answer of all time. So you lead the way.
I'm probably going to go. I'll keep it a close game at 21-17.
21-17? Which way?
Bengals.
You're going Bengals? Yeah. All right. I am going a high-scoring game because I feel like Joe Burrow has a field day against us, but I also feel like we get our points. Guys, this week you could take a chill pill. I have us winning this game 34-31.
Damn.
I have us winning this week. I feel like the Bengals just aren't on our level no matter how bad we play, no matter how bad we show up. I feel we win this game. We go to 1-2. I'm not saying we're a good team, but it saves everyone's job for at least a week.
Yeah. For a week.
The Bengals aren't good.
No.
They're not. As much as I want to say we're going to lose, they're just probably the worst team on our schedule, not named the Football Giants. So, yeah. If we lose this game, it is over. It's done.
We're done.
So I'm having a little bit more positivity, what's left of it. And that is pretty much all she wrote. I want to thank JoeyShakes72 for coming on to the first ever edition of Eagles Therapy Hour. And, this guy has content. Go sub him up. JoeyShakes72. He's on like 3 hours every single night or almost every single night. He works his ass off. And go sub his channel, JoeyShakes72. And, thank you so much for coming on to the first ever edition of Eagles Therapy Hour.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you bringing me on. We've been trying to do this for a while, so I'm glad. Hopefully, we'll do this again very soon. And good luck to everything with the Fly Like an Eagle pod and everything you're doing there. It seems like it's being very successful. So,
yeah, definitely. You'll definitely be on because every single week I'm doing the segment. So, I'm going to try to bring a different content creator on every single week. Maybe I'll Philly 500 on next week. But yeah, this was a great first edition. And once again, Joey Shakes, everyone. Go sub him up. He's on YouTube. You're on Twitter? You have a Twitter handle?
That's it. YouTube and Twitter is all I have.
Okay, cool. And you're the same handle, JoeyShakes72 on Twitter.
Yes.
So go follow him. Go give him a sub on YouTube. And with that said, I will see you on Thursday night with Zach and Trevor. Zomp will be on after the game on Sunday because he doesn't do double duty because I don't know his deal, but whatever. But we'll be back on with you live at 9:30 on Thursday night to talk about the Bengals preview. So join us then. And as always, go Birds.